Welcome to Shadows and Gods, where ancient myths rise from the darkness and legendary worlds come alive. Today we explore how fire and ice collided to create the Norse cosmos and the 9 realms that shaped all existence. In the beginning there was nothing. No sun, no moon, no world, not a grain of sand, no sea, no cooling waves. There wasn't even grass, just a huge, empty abyss called Ginnungagap. The old tongue called it the yawning void, a bottomless chasm of pure, unformed potential. It was a silence just waiting to be broken, a darkness waiting for a flicker of light. But this void wasn't totally empty of influence. To the north, a realm of endless ice and fog, Niflheim, the land of mist. To the south, a world of roaring fire and molten rock, Muspelheim, the land of flame. This is the story of how those two extremes, fire and ice, smashed together to forge the 9 worlds of Norse legend and the cosmic tree that holds them all together. This is the story of creation itself. Before there were any gods or people, before mountains or trees, there were just these 2 ancient forces, locked in a cosmic standoff across the Ginnungagap. To the south, picture a universe of pure, untamed fire. Muspelheim, a place of scorching heat, bubbling with volcanoes, molten rock, and glowing sparks that danced like angry stars. Guarding this inferno was the fire giant, Surtur, who was there from the very start. He carried a flaming sword that burned brighter than the sun, just waiting for the day he'd get to use it to end the age of the gods. To the north was Niflheim, the complete opposite, a world of deep, bitter cold, endless ice, and a thick, soupy mist. At its heart was the great spring Ymir, the bubbling spring where 11 poisonous rivers called the Elvagar began their flow into the void. As these toxic waters moved away from their source, they froze, layer after icy layer, creating enormous glaciers that crept slowly but surely toward the center of Ginnungagap. For ages, these 2 forces pushed and pulled. The hot air from Muspelheim carried sparks across the void, and the creeping ice from Niflheim reached out to meet it. Right in the middle of Ginnungagap, the inevitable happened. Fire met ice. It wasn't some huge explosion, but a slow, transformative meeting. The heat of Muspelheim began to thaw the venomous ice of Niflheim, and amid all the hissing and sputtering, the ice began to drip. In those very drops, life stirred for the first time. The drops came together, forming into a massive being, the first of all the giants, Ymir, whose name means screamer. Ymir was the ancestor of all giants, a creature born from pure elemental chaos. While he slept, he started to sweat, and from the sweat, under his left arm, a male and a female giant grew. From his legs, a 6-headed son was born, and just like that, the race of chaotic frost giants began to fill the void. But Ymir wasn't alone. As more frost melted, another being took shape from the drips, a great primeval cow named Audhumla. From her teats flowed 4 rivers of milk, which gave the giant Ymir all the nourishment he needed. Audhumla, for her part, fed herself by licking the salty ice blocks in the void. For 3 days she licked one particular block of ice. On the first day, a man's hair appeared. On the second, his head was uncovered. And on the third day, a complete man walked out of the ice. His name was Buri, and he was the ancestor of all the gods. Buri was the first of a new kind of being, totally separate from the chaotic giants that came from Ymir. He had a son named Bor, who went on to marry Besla, the daughter of a giant. This union of the divine and the gigantic created 3 sons, Odin and his brothers, Vili and Ve. These 3 brothers were the first of the Aesir gods, and they were born into a world run by the brutish Ymir and his ever-expanding family of giants. Odin and his brothers looked at the chaotic void and the crude existence of the giants, and they just weren't satisfied. They saw no order, no beauty, no real future in a universe ruled by a being like Ymir. They saw only endless raw potential going to waste. So, a decision was made. To create a true world, to bring order out of chaos, Ymir had to die. They attacked their giant ancestor. The battle must have been horrifying. A conflict on a cosmic scale inside the silent void. When it was over, Ymir lay dead. A torrent of blood erupted from his wounds, so much blood that it caused a great flood, drowning almost all of the frost giants. Only one giant, Bergelmir, and his wife managed to escape by climbing into a hollowed-out tree trunk and riding the gory tide to safety. From them, all future giants would descend, now and forever, enemies of the gods. With Ymir's death, creation could finally begin. Odin, Vili, and Ve dragged the immense corpse to the center of Ginnungagap. They took Ymir's flesh and fashioned the earth from it. His huge bones became mountains. His teeth and bone fragments became rocks. His blood became oceans. His skull became the sky, held up by 4 dwarves, Nordri, Sudri, Ostri, and Vestri. And his brains became clouds drifting across the heavens. To light the sky, the brothers caught the flying embers from Muspelheim and set them in place as stars, the sun, and the moon. They built a wall from Ymir's eyebrows, forming Midgard, the protected realm for humanity. Life continued to emerge. Odin and his brothers discovered 2 pieces of driftwood, 1 ash, 1 elm, and transformed them into Ask and Embla, the first humans. Even maggots feeding on Ymir's flesh were given intelligence and shape, becoming the dwarves of the deep earth. Then came the structure that united it all, Yggdrasil, the world tree. Its roots stretched across creation, touching 3 sacred wells. The well of Mimir in Jotunheim, Fergolmir in Niflheim, and the well of Urdre in Asgard. Above it perched a great eagle. Beneath it gnawed the dragon Nidhögr. Between them scampered the squirrel Ratatoska, carrying insults up and down. Around this great tree, the 9 realms took shape. First comes Asgard, the shining stronghold of the gods. It lies high in the upper branches of Yggdrasil, and known as the fortified home of the Aesir gods. This is the realm of divine power, ruled by Odin, the All-Father. Inside its great walls are the golden halls of the gods, the most famous being Valhalla, the Hall of the Slain. Here, heroic warriors who die in battle are brought by the Valkyries to spend their days fighting and their nights feasting, all in preparation for Ragnarok, the final battle at the end of time. Asgard is connected to our world, Midgard, by a shimmering, burning rainbow bridge called the Bifrost, guarded day and night by the ever-watchful god, Heimdall. Next is Vanaheim, the ancient home of wisdom, fertility, and magical power. It is the home of the Vanir gods. They're a second family of gods, associated with fertility, wisdom, and nature. Vanaheim is a lush and beautiful land, reflecting its inhabitants like Njord, the god of the sea, and his children Freya and Freya, who oversee prosperity and love. After a war between the Aesir and Vanir, the 2 tribes made peace, and now live as allies. Then comes Alfheim, the radiant haven of the Light Elves. It is also known as Elf Home. This is the world of the Light Elves, being said to be more beautiful than the sun itself. Their realm is a place of light, magic, and beauty, ruled by the Vanir god Freya. At the center lies Midgard, the world of mankind. This is our world, the realm of humanity, created from Ymir's body and protected from the giants by a wall made from his eyebrows. It's the battleground between the order of the gods and the chaos of the giants, with humans often caught in the middle. Thor, the god of thunder, is known as the main protector of Midgard and its people. Beyond Midgard sprawls Jotunheim, the wild realm of the giants. It is a vast, wild land surrounding Midgard and the home of the giants, or Jötnar. This is a place of untamed wilderness, snowy mountains, deep forests, and raging rivers that represents the chaotic forces constantly threatening the ordered worlds. Deep below lies Svartalfheim, also called Nidavella, home of the master craftsman. There's some confusion in the old texts. It's sometimes called Svartalfheim, meaning homeland of the Black Elves, or Nidavella, the Dark Fields. Our main source, Snorri Sturluson, referred to the dwarves as Dark Elves or Black Elves, which is where the name comes from. This is a world of caves, mines, and great forges, where the dwarves, the undisputed masters of craftsmanship, created many of the gods' greatest treasures, like Thor's hammer Mjolnir and Odin's spear Gungnir. Far below all light lies Niflheim, the ancient realm of ice and mist, one of the two original primordial worlds. It's now a dark, cold, misty land at the base of the universe. Later sources suggest that a darker realm, Helheim, lies within it. At the other extreme is Muspelheim, the land of fire. Like Niflheim, it existed before creation and remains a realm of searing heat and lava, ruled by the giant Surtur. Prophecy says that at Ragnarok, Surtur will lead his forces across the Bifrost Bridge and set the world ablaze. And finally, hidden in shadow, lies Helheim, the realm of the dead, the underworld. This is the place for souls who die of sickness or old age, those who don't earn a spot in Valhalla. It's ruled by the goddess Hel, daughter of Loki. Helheim isn't a place of punishment like the Christian hell, but more of a quiet, gloomy continuation of existence for the common dead. And there you have it, from a yawning abyss of nothing. A cosmos of incredible complexity was violently and beautifully forged through conflict and sacrifice. 9 distinct worlds, each with its own people and nature, all connected by the magnificent world tree. The Norse creation myth shows us that from chaos comes order, and from death comes life. The universe wasn't just wished into existence. It was brutally crafted from the body of a fallen giant. This act established the core struggle in all of Norse mythology. The fight between the Ginnungagap, the inner, ordered worlds like Asgard and Midgard, and the Utangard, the outer, chaotic forces like the giants of Jotunheim and the fires of Muspelheim. All 9 of these realms, from the shining halls of Asgard to the dark shores of Helheim, are bound together by the fate woven by the Norns and the life that runs through the great tree, Yggdrasil. They are the stage for epic tales of gods, giants, and heroes. But just as the cosmos was born from the collision of fire and ice, prophecy foretells that it is destined to end in one last cataclysmic battle. An age of wolves, an age of swords, when Yggdrasil itself will tremble, and the forces of chaos will rise one last time. The story of creation is complete, but the story of Ragnarok is still to come.